If all men are born free, how is it that all women are born slaves?
My name is Katie Turtell, and I play the cello in the band Away the Lasses. We're really interested in kind of telling the stories of some more ordinary women as well as extraordinary women like Mary Astell.
Serious proposal.
Away the Lasses is based in Newcastle in England, and this song is inspired by Mary Astell's book, A Serious Proposal to the Ladies. The book argues for the intellectual equality between men and women.
Throughout the song, even though it's kind of got this faster pulse, there's kind of a lightness, a kind of danciness to it.
But underneath the powerful bass line is a richness to the string sound and the accordion.
That evokes kind of a ambition, I would say, of like what somebody's trying to overcome in this world where they aren't heard and aren't able to express themselves fully to all society.
The band writes songs about women of Northeast England, like Fiona Hill, a former official at the U.S. National Security Council, Rachel Mary Parsons, the founder of the Women's Engineering Society, and the Newcastle women's football team.
Oh, away the lasses, it's long way overdue. The women of the black and whites were playing in the tune.
Mary Astell is signature Newcastle, born there in 1666. But even though Astell has been called England's first feminist, Turtell says for a long time she hadn't heard of her.
She really was a feminist before the time that word even existed, and far before even the suffrage movement and things like that, earlier in the 20th century. So she lived so long ago, and yet I think her story and her kind of activism really resonates today.
And now more people are beginning to learn her name. On International Women's Day 2023, Mary Astell got her own plaque outside Newcastle's cathedral.
It was striking how few people in Newcastle had ever heard of Mary Astell or realised what an important contribution she made to the life of the nation and to intellectual culture.
Claudine van Hensbergen is a professor of English literature at Northumbria University in Newcastle. She led the push for the plaque. Astell was born from a fairly affluent family of lawyers and coal merchants, and she received her education from her uncle Ralph, who worked for a time at what is now Newcastle Cathedral.
She proposed that sort of schools or convent-type establishments should be set up for women who didn't want to get married, where they could live together and sort of build on the life of the mind and enter into companionship.
Astell wrote about the Anglican faith and philosophical questions around religion. She also founded a charity school for girls in London. But after her death in 1731, much of her writing was forgotten.
The Victorians have a lot of blame for the way women writers especially just simply weren't republished and reprinted throughout the 19th century.
But since the 1980s, Van Hensbergen says, scholars have been recovering Astell's work. Visual reminders like plaques are also important.
It's the same issue that comes up with having lots of statues of wealthy white men on our streets, is that people just believe what they see.
You were your mother's only child.
Away the Lasses performed live during the unveiling of the Newcastle Cathedral plaque, and they continue to sing about other influential women, like Mary Eleanor Bowes, one of the early pioneers of women's right to divorce.
Lady Mary Eleanor, you left your childhood days behind.
And Janet Taylor, inventor of the Mariner's Calculator.
Surely more should be made of your life's work and labor. The great Mrs. Taylor, inventor and patron, the guardian angel of many a sailor at sea.
And of course, the female Muffin Man.
Captain John knew Emily in spite of her disguise. They told each other of their plight and married in 2 days.
More women to bring to the forefront and more plaques to unveil.
Miss Emily of Newcastle, the female Muffin Man.
For Philosophy Talk, I'm Holly J. McDede.